Today on Monkey Life, a challenging trip to the great outdoors for some of the park's lorises, including feisty male Axel.
Everything's slightly more of a challenge for Loris, but we hope that Axel's just going to move at such speed that the tunnels will be no problem for him.
At the park's sister sanctuary in Vietnam, an even bigger adventure for a pair of rescued black-shanked douc monkeys as they're released into the forest.
It is truly, truly amazing. Doucs back in the wild where they belong.
And Gibbons Kim and Tien try to figure out breakfast and eventually decide it's delicious. Monkey World in Dorset, buried deep in the English countryside, is the largest sanctuary of its kind on the planet. The team, led by Dr. Alison Cronin, rescue and rehabilitate abused and unwanted primates from all over the world.
This is a new start of a new era of the releases for the gibbons, which we need to get on with.
The park provides a home for more than 260 primates from 25 different species. Monkey World is home to a number of primates native to Southeast Asia, including 5 different gibbon species. Also among its residents is another, smaller primate from the same part of the world, the nocturnal Bengal slow loris. In the last 12 months, the park's lorises have seen big changes. A new nocturnal house was converted for their use, and the extra space had a positive impact. 3 of the small primates moved in, leaving more space for the others in the hospital loris house, reducing stress on their number. But their presence at the park has been a steep learning curve for the primate care staff. There's little known about the ecology, behaviour or care of these unusual primates. Monkey World welcomed its first ever slow loris, Boo, 9 years ago. She was rescued from the black market trade in the Maldives.
Hi, you!
2 years later, 5 lorises from Hong Kong joined her. Alison and the team wanted to learn as much as possible about this strange, secretive species. With not much known about it, knowledge gained at the park would complement the work done at Dao Tien, the park's sister sanctuary in Vietnam, which rescues both pygmy and Bengal loris and has had success releasing pygmy lorises back into the wild. In recent weeks, the primate care staff at Monkey World have been busy prepping the outdoor enclosure for females Nikki and Nora, and feisty male Axel, who've been living together for the last few months. Axel is a lot happier now he's not sharing a home with the other male Bruce, and soon all 3 lorises in the new house can use the outdoor enclosure together.
The biggest thing they need now is more space. One of the biggest things about loris, although they're small, they require as much space, say, as a gibbon. They require 4 or 5 hectare enclosures if you're really going to do something wonderful. So it's really important today that the Bengal get the 2 outside enclosures, and now the weather's coming nicer, we can do it.
Lorises are a nocturnal species, sleeping during the day and travelling and eating at night.
For the loris to come out, it's tricky for many reasons. First of all, it's nighttime for them. Inside the house is reverse lighting. In the outside, we have reverse lighting, but there's a little bit of natural light that comes in, which is great. They get fresh air coming through, but it's going to make them think, oh, am I still in sleep zone? Am I not? And also, there's long tunnels from the outside to the inside. Loris generally like tunnels, but in the tunnels, again, the temperature's different, the light's different. If it gets too hot, it makes them go a bit sleepy. So everything's slightly more of a challenge for Loris, but we hope that Axel's just going to move at such speed, because they can go so fast, that the tunnels will be no problem for him.
Time for the lorises to make their way along the tunnel, as the team wait to see if they'll explore the newly renovated enclosure. Nikki is first to venture out and slowly starts to explore. The team have added lots of new branching to help the trio get around, and there's plenty of browse and planting to keep them occupied. Axel seems to really enjoy being outside. The change of environment and stimulus keeps him active and occupied. The extra space will also give the trio room to get away from each other whenever they want. In the wild, lorises aren't the most social of primates, only spending up to 10% of their day in the company of others.
The more we can stimulate the loris, the better. So to come outside here is just fantastic. One of the first places that Axel went was actually to the areas where there's fresh air coming in, and he was smelling the air, he was checking out what's going on. It is a lot noisier out here because there's public coming to view, there's a big road going by with the tanks. To a certain degree, you could worry about that, thinking it's just too stressful, we have to keep everything really quiet. But actually, the jungle at night is so noisy, it's like quite scary, because there's actually a lot more scary things at night time than there are in the day. So actually, it's all okay, and we just have to monitor and make sure they're all right with the new kind of stimulus that's coming.
So far, so good. The three lorises have embraced their new outside space and for now can come and go as they please. Dr. Marina Kenyon has played an important role in the success story of both Monkey World and its sister sanctuary Dao Tien in Vietnam. Set up 15 years ago with the full support of the Vietnamese authorities, the island reserve, which covers 65 hectares, is in Cat Tien National Park in the Dong Nai province. Its aim is to rescue, rehabilitate, and ultimately release back into the wild some of the most endangered species in Vietnam, including golden-cheeked gibbons, black-shanked douc monkeys, and pygmy loris. Marina's partner, Lee Butler, is also heavily involved in Dao Tien and has made the 6,000-mile journey from the UK to the centre.
It's a busy period. We've had new loris arrivals. We've got to now do loris introductions. We've had 2 silvered langurs that have turned up, so we're doing health checks on the langurs. We're going to move doucs to a next phase of their rehabilitation to a semi-free, where there is minimal contact with people. There's just so much going on. It's just, you don't have time to think. We've just got to get it done. If you go there and then over your head, young man. Thank you.
He's been accompanied by Keith and Orr, who are about to take up the day-to-day running of Dao Tien in the absence of Lee and Marina. They'll live permanently on the island.
That'll do.
Lee has plans to build a new facility, which he thinks will help with the steady influx of young doucs now being rescued and brought to the centre. It's been on hold due to the global pandemic, and now with more youngsters arriving and the older doucs already in semi-free enclosures, it can be used for rearing young doucs and dealing with any sick animals that come in.
It's so exciting to finally get the groundwork started to actually get this facility that is much, much needed in rehabilitating these young primates that come here. This will help us get them to where they need to get. And it's something that we really do need to get built.
So this is the plans we discussed from before, so we've just taken them forward.
The team have come up with a design that'll make it easier to care for and rehabilitate these vulnerable youngsters. Kui is a young black-shanked douc who arrived a few months ago. He was stolen from his family and found frightened and malnourished in a hunter's house when he was just 7 months old. In the expert care of the island's staff, he's now learning to venture into the trees and eat the leaves as he would in the wild. But what he really needs is company of his own kind, and to be less reliant on humans.
We have to get in with other individuals. It's an absolute necessity for him, for any primate. So the next step is Fung and I will have a meeting, and then we'll discuss. Are we going to do an intro with Red, the grey-shanked douc? I know he's a separate species. Or do we consider him with the silvered langurs? They do sort of coexist in the wild, but we'll have to make that decision what is best for Kui. So within the coming days, we'll assess that, and then we'll make a plan going forward.
In the last few months, Dao Tien has had an influx of silvered langurs, including a tiny infant named Hon Mei, who's just a few months old. He may be an option for Qui to meet, but for now the young douc is spending time in a cage next door to Peter, another black-shanked douc. The more pressing concern is the trio of doucs who recently moved to a small semi-free area on the island. 2 black-shanked doucs, Anna and Vu, and a grey-shanked called Red. The problem for the team is they'll all be reaching sexual maturity soon, and being a different species, Red can't be allowed to mate with Anna. As a consequence, the team are going to move Vu and Anna to a larger semi-free area. But first, they have to separate the pair from Red.
No, Vu, Red, come here. No.
It's not going to be straightforward.
Go. It's gonna be okay.
This trio have been friends for a long time, so parting them isn't easy.
Oh, Anna. Come on, darling. Well, you want a bit more?
Eventually, Fung, with a bit of leafy encouragement, persuades Vu and Anna into the crate. They're then transported across the island to a large semi-free forest enclosure, where a release cage has been set up.
My foot. Okay.
The pair will spend 3 or 4 days inside the cage so they can get used to the sights, sounds and smells of their new home.
Right, are you ready, guys? Right.
They'll be regularly fed, watered and monitored, and, when they're ready, released into the trees. While black-shanked doucs Vu and Anna wait to be let out into the forest sanctuary in Dao Tien, some of the gibbons on the island aren't so fortunate. Although they've been rescued, they'll never be fit enough or well enough to be released back into the wild. However, along with the gibbons in the process of rehabilitation, they still get all the care and attention they need. This morning, Mr. Phuc, one of the Vietnamese staff, is making a unique form of enrichment from native plants.
It's a tam rau. Tam ruột. It's a Vietnamese fruit, so sweet, but it's quite ingenious what he's doing. He's making some banana leaf parcels, and all of it is just from the banana plant. But the banana leaf is when you take it from the plant, it's very brittle. And one way they overcome that is they actually put it over a naked flame, and then you can bend it. It's just ingenious. I've tried to make these, and I can never tie them. I always end up breaking the tie, which is sort of the spine of the banana leaf. But it is really ingenious. Come on here.
The little banana plant parcel should challenge the gibbon's mental agility as they work out a way to unwrap it.
Okay.
Once the gibbons reach the fruit inside, the leaf is dropped to the floor. But it's done its job, encouraging the gibbons to handle and process their food. Gibbons and douc monkeys aren't the only primates on the island the team at Dao Tien care for. There are also 5 Bengal lorises and 10 pygmy lorises. The centre has had great success rehabilitating and releasing 137 of the small nocturnal primates back into the wild. And next to go are Zuli and Bin. The pair have been living in the loris semi-free area for the last few months, getting used to the trees. They still have access to the cage, and the staff supplement their food, but they come and go as they please. Soon it'll be time to take their final steps back into the wild. But before that, the pair will need a health check. And Zuli needs to be fitted with a GPS radio collar, so the team can track their whereabouts once released. A vet team from Ho Chi Minh City have come to the island to do both tasks.
You want to wait? I mean, depending on how deep he is, he looks like he's sleeping, so...
Zuli has been anaesthetised, and Lee carefully lifts him out of his travel box. Fitting the collar on such a small primate is a fiddly procedure and requires gauntlets for safety due to their toxic bite.
Okay, let's put the collar. Yeah, I'm pretty good. Great, that's amazing.
Once it's secure, Lee checks everything is working as it should.
Okay.
The team take the opportunity to weigh Zuli while he's still under sedation.
Okay, so 540. The pillowcase is 110. Okay. Yeah.
Around 450 grams is about right, and a lot less than the 800 grams he weighed when he first arrived at Dao Tien. He's returned to the box and monitored as he comes round from the anaesthetic. All being well, Zuli and Bin will be released into the wild in the next few days. They're not the only pair who are about to enjoy the freedom of the trees. For the last 4 days, Vu and Anna, 2 black-shanked douc monkeys, have been staying in a release cage in the middle of a large semi-free area on the island.
The plan today is to let the black-shanked doucs, Vu and Anna, out into their new enclosure. Big day today, so we're going to give it a couple of minutes and then Mr. Dorm will open the slide for me, so fingers crossed. Big day for Vu and Anna.
Everything is set and the slide is opened. The 2 monkeys don't wait around, heading straight for the trees. They're a bit wary at first, sticking to the lower branches, taking it all in. But not for long. They're both soon climbing up to the high tree canopy where they belong. It's exactly what Lee was hoping for.
Well, what an incredible start to the day on Dao Tien. Absolutely amazing to see. Testament to the teamwork we have on Dao Tien so that we can keep this incredible species alive. It is truly amazing. Doucs back in the wild where they belong.
But releasing gibbons back into the forest has proved more tricky over the years. Their survival depends on a safe location with enough fruiting trees of the right species. Back at the park in Dorset, the primate care team do their best to encourage the gibbons in their charge to replicate the natural behaviours of their wild counterparts. Today, Kat is giving golden-cheeked gibbons Kim and Tien fresh figs still on the branch. They're a key food in the wild and a perfect way of enabling the pair to feed more naturally.
This is how they would eat, so it's really exciting to actually give them something that is so natural for them. Giving them it up in the tree canopy as well, again, bringing in that really natural element for them. They're going to have to work for it. They're going to have to hang up there and really make a concerted effort to get all the food items and stuff. So hopefully they're going to really enjoy it, just keep their lives a bit interesting and stimulating and to give them something different.
Kat is suspending the figs way up in the tree canopy.
Oh my God, it's heavy.
Using pulley feeders, gibbons are well adapted to finding food high up.
I would imagine that they will sit on this pulley feeder for a considerable period of time, grabbing as much of the fruit as they can and probably eating it quite quickly whilst they're hanging. So, you know, this is going to be a really nice workout for the guys and keeping them moving in their natural way. Stampede, Gibby, stampede. Whoa.
Tien is first out. As usual with anything new, he takes a moment to assess what's in front of him. allowing his mate Kim to take the plunge first. But even she isn't sure about the figs. Most of the fruit the pair receive in their weekly diet is commercially grown and a lot more ripe. These figs are more akin to what they would find in the wild. Some are hard and firm, and others ready to pick and eat. After a closer look, Kim and Tien start to gorge on the fruit. The tougher figs prove no problem for the gibbons, their large canines making short work of the outer skins. Kim and Tien have had a different life experience to most of the primates at the park, who've been rescued from a variety of circumstances.
These guys are actually both born here at the park, so they've been here their entire lives and they've grown up with parents. You know, so you can really see that difference in the way that they are as individual animals. You know, they don't have a lot of the hang-ups and issues that some of our other gibbons have. They're very settled in life and they're very comfortable with the environment that they're in as well. So they are really, really amazing individuals to just show that, you know, what can happen when you take rescued animals like Peanut, like Peng Yo, Zoe, you know, put those guys together and, you know, they can go on and have healthy babies that they can rear by themselves that turn into these amazing, healthy, well-balanced adult animals as well. So, you know, it can work out long-term in the future. So it's a really fantastic story.
After a slow start, the figs have proved a success. Kim and Tien's magnificent tree-filled enclosure has allowed them to demonstrate the natural movements and abilities a healthy gibbon should have, as they've enjoyed their fruity breakfast. Next time on Monkey Life, orangutan youngster Kyan goes outside for the first time and braves a bird's-eye view of the park.
She's probably been quite curious about all her new neighbours.
And a fennel frenzy for the chimps.